that this is working. Welcome back to my podcast. Welcome back to my Smackdown review. This is Jacob Cass, 2024. Hold on, damn it, I gotta make sure this is working. Hold on. Just want to make sure that this is live so y'all can hear me. Okay, good. Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to my live stream, my WWE Smackdown review. While I'm playing Fortnite, we're going to do my live stream, my review on WWE Smackdown. We're going to talk about Smackdown tonight. Smackdown just went over. We'll go through the show. We'll talk about the news and rumors. And today we're going to talk about the shocking death of Hulk Hogan. Terry Boger, otherwise known as Hulk Hogan, the Hulkamania, Hulkamaniac. Hulk Hogan passed away yesterday morning from a cardiac arrest at age 71. So we will talk about that. We'll talk about Hulk Hogan's life, his career in WWE and WCW, TNA. We'll talk about his life, and then we'll talk about SmackDown tonight. SmackDown was actually kind of a boring show. Nothing much happened. All that mattered was the memorial to honor Hulk Hogan. We saw all the wrestlers. We saw Triple H go through Hulk Hogan's career. All the wrestlers were there. I did watch the news. I saw some wrestlers like Chelsea Green, Natalia, Kane, Sergeant Slaughter. He was on Busted Open with Dave LeGrand. Everyone's sad and devastated that Hulk Hogan is no longer with us. I'm sad too. I can't believe that Hulk Hogan is gone. Hulk Hogan really is gone. Alright, so, alright. Oh, the main event wasn't that good. This match ended in a DQ. Match ended in a DQ. And all the tag team got involved, ended in a brawl, and that's how the show ended. So we could, maybe we will get the title defended at SummerSlam, just to make them do something that I don't know. So, yeah. Alright. Now, while I talk about WWE, now this live stream is sponsored by PlayStation. It's sponsored by Chris Moon, The Rad Brad, Typical Gamer. It's sponsored by my other podcasters, Salamato Sound Off, JD from New York, Fightful Wrestling. We're going to talk about SmackDown here. Actually, wait a minute. Now, before I start with Fortnite, want to show you guys the podcasters first. We got Joe Cronin. He's gonna talk about it.
More time going over Hogan, but I mean, like, honestly, they had to put it together in a day, and also they can't take up the whole damn show completely. So it was really.
I emphasize again, it is free to join my community. The stocks I share are also.
Enough of these damn commercials, man.
Being dedicated to Hulk Hogan. I don't think that this match was meant to go, like the 6 minutes it went. I believe that this match was supposed to go longer, and I think that it was like, oh look, they ruined another. I mean,
hopefully we see our tribal chief. Have a fantastic night. Have a fantastic weekend. I might put up something for the Demonites only this weekend.
And hey, and thank you for your rate. It's great. Oh, George Lewis, A&B Combos, Wrestling Editions, the greatest YouTube channel.
Gonna show the other podcasters here. Alright, what the?
Buys before I go and watch main events, or I think there's a match before. TNT, Ice Buddy, Mark, Michael, Blue Will, Brandon, Roman Reigns, Ice Buddy.
Show the other podcast that we got Wrestle for Life Network.
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited for, Eric with an 8 there. I'm excited with some of these chats here. And the Dodgers just beat the Red Sox. Yes, the Red Sox. I agree. And I really liked it.
Guys, welcome back to the channel. And out so late. But if you are catching this before SmackDown, maybe I'm able to get this out an hour or two beforehand. We'll go over what... It's 50 to 660 for AEW.
I don't know how. I don't know if WWE have got a better read of the situation than I do. Obviously, I'm not in America. Perhaps they've got just a much better understanding. They've got numbers that tell them this was not as big a risk as what I thought it was. So that could be happening, right? Or maybe it is that...
Now, I just want to let you guys know that they announced like 11 matches for SummerSlam. At least 6 matches and then 5 matches. So they might announce the SmackDown Tag Team titles. The way how the main event ended tonight on SmackDown, we might get the SmackDown Tag Team titles on the pay-per-view. I think we will have the White Sith for the first time on pay-per-view, and they should. They deserve it. The White Sith have been allergic to PLEs lately, and they want to make the titles mean something and have them on pay-per-view. It looked that way just based on the feud. The SmackDown Tag Division is the best thing. It's the best tag division in WWE and in AEW. Alright, so now let's show the other podcast through Denise.
Say your prayers, eat your vitamins, 24-inch pythons, the mega power is going to run wild on you, brother. And then, after the man is, in conjunction with Vince McMahon, we gotta tell the truth. In conjunction with Vince McMahon, they brought wrestling mainstream, but that character specifically, Hulkamania and Hulk Hogan, made professional wrestling mainstream. And then after that was the NWA.
WWE needs to redeem itself. Yeah, I think. And I have to apologize again.
This is stupid, and you'll know that. So it's weird. There's some interesting problems with.
Alright, now let's get into SmackDown. SmackDown wasn't that good. Kind of boring. Nothing really happened. Now, next week we got the go-home show for SmackDown. Monday Night Raw we got the go-home show. Hopefully we see Roman Reigns on that show. Alright, let's get it over with the SmackDown review. We got Katana James. Is she on SmackDown now? She just made a debut to SmackDown tonight after she was on NXT. But she accompanied Julia. She becomes Julia's right hand or partner going up against Zelina Vega. Cody will cut a decent promo. I will beat the new John Cena. John Cena's not there. Hopefully he's on SmackDown next week because it's the go-home show. But Cody will do the best he can to build up this feud. Cut a decent promo. That was it. Nothing much. If John Cena's not there, kind of boring with Cody Rhodes. I have a feeling something can happen in the main event between those two since we are stipulation. Hope it's not who I think it is, but, We had Jade Cargill versus, I think it was Chelsea Green, and then she got attacked by the Secret Harvest, Piper Niven, and Alba Fire. And then Tiffany came out and helped Jade, and that was it. There's no build, there's no heat. It's only been like a few weeks with Tiffany and Jade. It's not much to really care, just a match on SummerSlam. Not sure who's going to win. Hoping a good match. We have Roxanne Perez. She defeated Alexa Bliss. How long this match went? 6 minutes? Wouldn't give them much time. There was hardly anything on SmackDown. This show was just boring. Nothing happened. Besides, we had a 10-minute segment with Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul. They had a face-to-face with Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. They had a big brawl. The babyface stood tall. Jelly Roll did move to Logan Paul, so babyface is stand tall here. It's just whatever. we did get The Miz and Jacob Fatu. I don't forget about that. Miz versus Jacob Fatu, which is a throwaway match, just filler. Jacob Fatu wins. He beat The Miz, whatever. And then we get the MFTs. They attack Fatu, Jimmy. Jacob tried to fight him off, but Bloodline stood tall. I keep saying the new Bloodline. It's actually called the MFTs, so now they have a name. The heel stood tall. Solo and his crew, they beat up Fatu and Jimmy Uso. Yeah, so not much on the show. They only focus on the honor of Hulk Hogan. Because the show opened up where they pay a tribute to play the 10-bell salute to honor the immortal Hulk Hogan. We saw a couple of wrestlers. I was hoping there would be more. But there were a couple of wrestlers Triple H put there in the middle. Cody Rhodes, Bruce Prichard, Sergeant Slaughter. Everyone was there. Yeah.
When your question is actually a bunch of questions.
Jesus, what the hell? The hell with that? Come on now. The goddamn commercial, man. I'm trying to show you all the other podcasters. Hey, what the hell? What in the hell? Now this is the wrestling dance.
And that was one of the other things that I kept thinking about today was, you know, people do great things in their life, right? They do great things, but you have to keep it going, like, or else you're gonna tarnish your entire legacy. And it's horrible to see someone tarnish their legacy, because at the end, when you and I go, Robin, I know we don't
deliver.
That wasn't really savage, was it?
We had a video
that's on now.
package for Andrade and Rey Fenix and mental well-being. So don't wait. Download the Better Sleep app and start getting the rest you deserve today.
Other side of it, though, I had 3 consecutive callers yesterday, grown men crying. You know, like, because, again, you know, they had the action figure as a buddy. They were called buddies, I think, back in the day. So, you know, sometimes people say separating the person from the art. I don't even know. That's your individual decision. It's everybody, you know, how they. But I think you can take it and you can say, okay, what Hulk Hogan said and did, and this is how I feel about it. And again, that may just totally besmirch everything he ever did before. And then you can also just look at it and say, okay, what did Hulk Hogan mean to professional wrestling? And that's why I like what Cody said, because that part of it isn't complicated. You know, it's not complicated to say that this person was kind of like the big bang for, you know, what the business became. And then that part of his legacy, it wouldn't matter if he was the nicest person who ever lived or the worst person who ever lived. That would remain the same, because that is etched in the history books from Netflix to Coliseum home video back in the day.
Really? I mean, I'm sure you experienced it. I'm sure the listeners here experienced it, where I was getting text messages from people that I didn't even realize would be texting me about this. I mean, my aunts were texting me about Hulk Hogan. My mom was texting me about Hulk Hogan. And it's just one of those deaths that when they do pass, this isn't just within just a community, but a lot of people obviously knew of Hogan, and he's the most recognizable pro wrestler out there. So it was just, it was crazy, like the whole entire thing. And yet, I think for me, the whole time, what I've been thinking about, Robin, is that, and this happens to me whenever anyone passes away, I always have a really hard time finalizing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't process it. Like, this person is gone. That to me, anytime anyone dies, I always struggle with, damn, this person's gone. Like, just like that, gone. Yeah. Always struggle with it. And that's the part that I'm still sort of stuck at. So while everybody's reevaluating all these things, I'm still processing. I'm still like, damn, I can't believe it. And I just can't. It happens all the time.
it makes you come to terms with your own mortality too.
Yes.
You know that's part of it because you know Hulkamania feels larger than life. NWO for life. And you know, hearing some of the clips or reliving some of the clips, I think about it. I saw a lot of this in real time. But okay, even the NWO, Scott Hall gone, Hulk Hogan gone. You go to the turn itself at Bash at the Beach. Who's on the commentary then? Bobby the Brain Heenan, who was the manager for Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. Giant Heenan gone. You know, Gorilla Monsoon on some of that commentary, gone. Macho Man Randy Savage, Mega Powers, gone. Ultimate Warrior, who he squared off against so famously, gone. You know, Muhammad Ali, who was part of WrestleMania 1, one of the most famous athletes of all time, gone. And so that's just like a mental Rolodex of legends that I'm pulling right there that were part of me growing up, you know, and they're all gone. And for Hulk Hogan to be gone, that's one of those signature marks. It is. I mean, it's one of those ones. There's I don't know if there's anybody, you know, to talk about the phrase living under a rock, you had to have lived under a rock to not know who Hulk Hogan was, whether you ever watched a wrestling match or not.
No, that's true. That's 100% true. And it's just, it's a tough one. And the one thing that I've been reiterating the entire day is just live it up, guys. Live up your life the best you can, because this is a hard subject to cover anytime, and I hate it, but it's part of what it is. I wish we could just sit here and entertain people and make stupid jokes and things like that and talk about pro wrestling, which is not even something serious, but then to talk about serious things like this, it's always very, very hard. Also, Robin, shout out to you, man, for doing that show yesterday on the fly like that with 15 minutes notice. I would have freaked out because you got to prepare so much. You're still processing your feelings. You haven't even had a chance to go and see how people are reacting, what is going out there. So I don't think people realize what a tough task that is.
Yeah, the only way you can do that is be raw, be honest, and roll with it. Because it's one of the most significant days in pro wrestling history, and I'm on pro wrestling airwaves across SiriusXM, Pro Wrestling Nation, and that's the way I've been doing it a long time, so the experience helps. But I looked at it as an honor to be in that position, to be quite frank, to be able to be the first voice to that many people in an audience for a prolonged period of time. So I just tried to do it justice.
That's awesome. We got Sucho here who says, "Hey Robin, hope you're doing all right after doing Not Sam Wrestling Live on Thursday afternoon. Those last 3 calls almost got me too."
3 in a row, all in like audible tears, on the phone. Grown men, obviously, too, like 40, 50, something years old.
Yeah, I know. I remember gosh, and I know this is a Smackdown show, but this is obviously, what we're talking about, and then also the 10-bell salute and everything. But I remember just, having the fact that there's an outlet to even talk about this type of stuff. When Eddie Guerrero died, I remember just bawling my eyes out. And, there was nobody else that I could talk to about how I felt about a celebrity that, I didn't know Eddie. I didn't know him. You guys didn't know him. We didn't know him. But I was crying in bed like if it was someone I knew. And so when you have an outlet to talk about it and talk about, someone passing and you're really, devastated about it, it's nice to be able, the fact that people were able to call in and openly, shed a tear and talk about their feelings. It's a great thing to have, to at least be able to talk about it with somebody who might understand.
Yeah, I mean, look, even though the promo package today gets you a little bit, and some of those feelings that you feel, you can't even articulate into one word and say, this is how I feel. It's just that swell of emotions of seeing, the kind of the montage of your life and your life as you viewed it through Hulk Hogan's life.
It's just a lot. It's a lot to process, guys. We got Anthony Giuliano here who says, "Hey Denise, miss you. What's up, Robin? Haven't seen you in a while. Tonight was a great tribute for Hogan, but thought there would be an interview from everyone." No, this one was very, very different for sure. I think the only wrestler that actually spoke about it on the show was Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is really great at talking about anything that is sort of complicated. People have always said, when he's done with wrestling, he should go into politics, right? Because that's who Cody Rhodes is. It's just a skill that he's feel about him going out there and prior to addressing John Cena in their upcoming match at SummerSlam, he did go out there and he did say, like, you know, I don't remember verbatim how he said it, but he did say, you know, Hulk Hogan is a complicated figure to talk about, but at the end of the day, this is what he impacted in pro wrestling. How did you feel Cody Rhodes handled that, and were you expecting some additional tributes the way that Anthony Giuliano here just brought up?
I think Cody Rhodes said it perfectly. Couple things. The additional tributes, it did just happen yesterday. So that's one thing. Some of that, you know, you saw what happened with Chelsea Green online too. So there's a little bit of the Pandora's box. Maybe they don't want to open everybody alive, Mike, or whatnot. Maybe some of that will come in a documentary kind of form. I don't know. But it did just happen yesterday. So I thought it was handled with tact, with the 10-bell salute, the video package, and then Cody Rhodes being the one to sort of represent the company. But as I said at the top, I think he said it perfectly. Because you can say the part about it being complicated in Hulk Hogan or Terry Bollea, the person, but his impact on the business not being complicated at all. Because that's the least complicated thing that there's ever been, is Hulkamania to Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and thank you for the house, right? Like, that's what a wrestler would say about Hulk Hogan's heyday, especially. So I thought it was really, really well put by Cody Rhodes, and it's why he's in the position he's in. It's why people would say QB1 at times, and it's why he's the one that had the microphone in the middle of the ring.
Thank you, Anthony. We got Infamous Raider Loco here with a very generous super chat. He says, stepping in to say what's up to Rob and our DWO leader, Miss Denise. Enjoyed the show. Women taking over first hour. Way too much hotness. Alexa, Roxy, then Jade, Chelsea, then Jade, Chelsea, Tiffany. Lord, needed 2 oxygen tanks. Is this the biggest TLC match ever? I am ready. So we did end the show with a bang for sure, because we closed out. It was the Wyatts versus Andrade and Rey Fenix. Now, even though I wanted to see Andrade and Rey Fenix win, we all knew that wasn't going to happen. The Wyatt 6, they just got their championships. Like, it would have been kind of messed up had they ended their championship run right then and there. And the way that it ended with the DQ and all of that, especially it looked like Andrade and Rey Fenix were about to get this victory, it really made me feel, Robin, I really do think that Andrade and Rey Fenix are going to become the next tag team champions. And fingers crossed, I'm sorry, Wyatt 6, but I want it to happen at SummerSlam. I'm sorry, I know it would be so short, and boo you, Denise, but damn it, Andrade and Rey Fenix are just, so I'm sorry, I want to see more of that, and they did make a TLC with pretty much every tag team that you saw out there. So who is that? That's DIY, Street Profits, who else am I missing? All of them.
Fraxium's in there.
Fraxium, oh my gosh, Fraxium in a ladder match? Like, okay, I got the full list here. Wyatt 6, Andrade and Rey Fenix, DIY, Fraction, and then Motor City Machine Guns, and the Street Profits. That is 6 teams in a TLC match. 6 teams. You know, earlier they put out both cards for SummerSlam Night 1 and Night 2, and everybody was talking about how all of the tag team matches are on Night 1. I'm guessing they're putting this TLC on Night 2 now. So now it's making more sense as to why they decided to not put any when they made the earlier announcement.
Well, all the stipulation matches are on Night 2, so who knows the exact reason.
Yeah.
It is a...
you're right, too, pretty much. I mean, except for, like... No, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But that is a total chaos. I mean, my kids were pumped at the announcement, so really, I mean, I think that's just a showcase for some high-flying bumps and action, and it's almost like, what is the floor for that match? It's pretty high, right? The ceiling is very high, but so is the floor, right? Like, what's the worst it's going to be? It is super duper entertaining, so I think it makes a lot of sense. You know, SmackDown's been this sort of playpen for the tag team division, and now they're going to get a chance to put it, put on a show in front of the biggest show since WrestleMania, at least.
I feel that the way they ended the show today, at first I thought, DQ, finish this, stinks, right? And then once I realized, okay, they're going to make a TLC match, I thought, oh, great. They're really making, like, I love the ending once they actually announced the TLC, because at that point, everybody had been fighting with everybody. We've been seeing, like, Montez Ford took the air, Angelo Dawkins took the air, like, everybody was flying about, and then closing out with that ending, I thought that made the tag team division actually look very cool on SmackDown. So I was a fan of how they ended up closing it after the DQ stuff. So that could be honestly, that could be the match of SummerSlam, this freaking TLC match.
I mean, it's definitely gonna have the maybe the most action. I mean, when I'm just looking at the matches itself, the triple threat with the Rhea and Io Sky and Naomi, I'm looking forward to a lot, just because I couldn't have been a bigger fan of the Io Sky Rhea Ripley match from Evolution. In fact, I think that might be the greatest women's match of all time.
Might happen. It could be, honestly.
That match was so great, and then you have that. And then also the tag thing is a little. The amount of tag matches is a little skewed because of, one, you have the fact that Jelly Roll and that match, which I'm sure we're going to get to, and then of course the other big tag match, which is probably going to main event night one, is a little bit of a pivot because of the Seth Rollins injury.
Oh, yeah, that is definitely true. We got Anthony Giuliano here who says, I feel bad for Jimmy Hart, and he is taking it hard. Yeah, I'm glad that he was able to be there, though, because obviously it meant a whole lot to him to be there and to be able to be part of that 10 bell salute. So I'm glad that he was able to at least be there. Anthony also says, everyone putting flowers down at his shop in Florida. Oh, I haven't seen that. Thank you for letting us know, Anthony. We got Infamous Rare Loco here.
Hi, we're Policy Genius, and we're here to help you find and buy the right life insurance for your needs. So if you're a first-time buyer asking, what's the best life insurance?
We got some super chats and humper chats that are rolling in here. Thank you so much for sending in love and support. I know this is going to be a lot. This one's going to be a lot. So know that this is a safe space to, within reason, feel free to share however you're feeling about it. But no poets allowed saying we must never forget the bad stuff. I'll admit the 10 bells and the highlight reel had me in tears. I'm such a damn mark. Thankful to be here with Kate, our OTK, and
cool to see because he got his moment. He got to go out the way that he wanted, performing and people, and loving him and crying in the crowd. It was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, I mean, but it is nice that to have that final performance so quickly before the grand finale for Ozzy Osbourne. But yeah, another. I mean, they say it comes in threes, right? Ozzy Osbourne, Malcolm Jamal Warner, and Hulk Hogan. But not everybody gets something like that. I mean, we were just talking about it with Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan didn't get the "When It Comes Crashing Down and It Hurts" on Netflix, right? With the Real American Beer, it didn't quite go that way for the Hulkster. So doesn't make it any less painful, I'm sure, for his family and friends or the many fans of Black Sabbath or Ozzy Osbourne. But it is something to think about as a nice touch to the end of his life.
Yeah, I was just thinking, if you're gonna go out anyway, you do it with doing what you love and with the people and just like that. So yeah, man, if you haven't seen that video, if you want to watch it, check it out. Thank you, Infamous Redder Logo. We got JJ Castillo here who says if it wasn't for Hogan, WrestleMania wouldn't be as a big event without his involvement. Wrestling wouldn't be as big today without him. Rip Hulk Hogan. Thank you so much, Jay Castillo, for sending your thoughts in. And obviously, as Robin and I just discussed here, and everybody will, agree with that. We got Steve Fight here who says, I'm 59 years old. My mother got me into wrestling at 8 years old. Hulk was my mom's favorite wrestler, so Hogan's passing hit me hard in more ways than one. Rip Hulkster. Yeah, especially because you associate these people with your memories and whatnot. So, Steve is going to associate this with his mother, and, you love your mother, so of course you're going to have these mixed emotions and all of that. It's a lot, yeah. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for sharing that. Sending some love to your mom. We got David Kaplan here who says, I was wondering, Denise, have you ever met Hulk Hogan? No, I never met Hulk, actually. He was at the Fox premiere when Smackdown was there, but I think if he did interviews, I think he just did so with, the first, 3 big outlets. But he definitely didn't get to where I was at the press line, so I didn't get a chance to ever meet or interview Hogan.
He might have called you brother.
Yeah, for sure. which is crazy because that day I remember I got Sting, I got Goldberg, so it's just like wild. And I think about all those people that were there. Thank you, David. All right, so let's go ahead and get into there's just a lot to get into here on today's show, but let's just touch on some of the other stuff, because I do want to talk about Logan Paul, because he went out there immediately after they did the 10-bell salute and the tribute video, and we got some back and forth between him and Jelly Roll. Robin, I was so surprised. Well, maybe I shouldn't be because he's a celebrity and he's used to talking on the mic. But damn, I thought Jelly Roll did a good job with his promo. I can't even talk shit. And Robin, you weren't here when I talked about this, but I literally said, I don't want to see Jelly Roll in this match. I don't want to see this match. I could care less about this match. What are we doing? But I got to give him some credit for that promo.
I think the build to this match has been pretty good, to be honest. Look, When the idea first came around, I was a little bit like, all right. But then I also went to that same mental Rolodex and remember how many different celebrities have been a part of wrestling over the course of my life, whether it's back to Hulk Hogan's days with Cyndi Lauper or Lawrence Taylor, who was an athlete, but going against Bam Bam Bigelow at WrestleMania, to Bad Bunny, to Johnny Knoxville. I mean, two of the most memorable matches in recent times to me are Bad Bunny against Damian Priest and Johnny Knoxville against Sami Zayn. So that can happen, and then I do think they've done a nice job with the build. I'm not even that familiar with Jelly Roll. I think I understand his genre of music, I guess, just from the little bits I've heard, but I haven't really been a consumer of it. But I think one thing that's become clear in these promos and in these segments is he has a genuine love for what he's doing, and that is coming across. And I loved the Randy call out. I hear voices.
Oh yeah.
Like, I love that, and I feel like every time there's been a segment of this match on TV, the crowd has responded to it. I think the stuff on late night TV got a lot of views. So is it going to live in the annals of the most important matches that ever were booked for a major PLE? I'm doubtful, but I do think for what it is, it's been built very well, and it's going to get a good reaction come next Saturday at MetLife Stadium.
He looks like he's having the time of his life. Like, legitimately looks happy. And I thought, damn, man, I can't be a hater. I can't be talking shit when the dude looks this happy. Come on. That makes me kind of a dick, honestly. I was thinking about that. I thought, damn, I was shitting on this match, because I really was. Because I thought, dude, Drew McIntyre could be in a totally different match. Randy Orton could be in a different match. Love, hate, Logan Paul, he could be in a different match. And I'm like, they're doing all of these really big, important names in this match, and that's what my original thought was. But now that I see how happy he is, I was thinking, man, I can't be mean about it.
Randy seemed really into his promo a few weeks back too, if you remember when he came out, like he was having fun with it. And let me give a little credit to Logan Paul, because he's the one that made Jelly Roll look good in the ring after the promo part. You know, the bumps in there. Logan Paul did the selling on that, so give him a little credit.
Yeah. We got Anthony Giuliano here, who says, I met Hogan 3 times and he was nice to me all 3 times. It's very nice, Anthony. We got Matt B. Matt, thank you so much for all of the support that you've been sending out this whole entire stream. He says, I can relate to Denise. It's not exactly like Stephen and Mao joining in for a tag match. Gonna head out, but have a safe and good weekend. Maybe grab something delicious for breakfast in the morning. Oh, you know it. Breakfast is my favorite meal of the day, so I will most definitely be doing that. Matt, thank you so much for the support, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you, Matt. All right, we had Alexa Bliss and Roxanne Perez. During this match, Alexa Bliss got a little distracted with Charlotte Flair and Raquel Rodriguez going at it on the outside. This led to Roxanne Perez getting the victory here, and also holding the ropes as she rolled her up, so she also pretty much cheated. But Roxanne Perez gets the win, and the big thing that we really got from this was just them showing more of the bonding between Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and showing that Charlotte cares for Alexa, because Alexa was busted open and all of that. It was fine. I really do think we're going to see them win the titles at SummerSlam. I'm feeling good about it right now, Robin.
Yeah, I definitely think so, though. Well, otherwise, what's the point? I would say of putting them together. It's just kind of like, what are you doing with Charlotte there? And Alexa, really, considering, she gets good reaction from the crowd. So, yeah, to me, it felt like, all right, here's a little bit of a build to this match, which isn't one of the pillar matches on the card, but at the same time, the fact that they're even tagging together makes me think they have to be getting a payoff.
Oh, yes, I'm with it. Alright, we had Jade Cargill versus Chelsea Green. I thought the way this was set up was pretty funny because Chelsea Green was running her mouth backstage, and she was talking shit about Jade, and Jade pops up from behind and basically beats her and carries her out there to this matchup here, and it's very quick. She hits her with the Jaded and gets the win. I liked the way it happened and how she got to the match. At one point, Robin, I'm not even sure if when she was carrying Chelsea, I think she might have even hit Chelsea's head through the entrance, or at least it looked like that from the camera angle. I thought it was very, very funny. Did this stand out to you at all?
Well, Jade is very good at the brawling kind of physical stuff. She makes it. She looks good when she's doing that. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just continues to make her look strong as you get into that match with Tiffany Stratton, which is what I'm curious to see how that one turns out. Because Jade is still in that phase of her career where she is getting better and having more and more one-on-one marquee matches, and then Tiffany Stratton's also like at the peak of her career, but it is still like not in the category of some of the rest who have done it over and over again and showing you like I'm putting on a classic with anybody kind of. So I'm curious to see how they're going to mesh and how that's going to come out. But overall, it was effective. It's not like the highlight of the night or anything, but I think it was an effective way to utilize Jade and build up to that match.
Yeah, they got her a win, she got a little confrontation, and I think you're right about Tiffany too, because when you think about it, Tiffany was on such a high, right? She was so popular, getting a lot of buzz. Then the stuff with Charlotte happened, the match wasn't great at WrestleMania, but at least the people were talking about the feud. But then, since then, even though she had a really good match with Trish Stratus at Evolution, I don't feel like anything else has been so hot surrounding Tiffany Stratton at the moment. So I feel, I guess it's not really, we got a few more weeks to kind of heat this up with her and Jade, but it doesn't really feel that heated just yet.
It's only one more week, Denise.
Yeah, you're right. I was looking at my calendar and I was...
This is Judy and Pedro. They just bought their first home and are learning a lot. Thanks to Google, Pedro
passed away. Because unfortunately there's been far too many of them. Many wrestlers, they don't make mainstream headlines. Some of them do. There have been some pretty big names, whether it's a Randy Savage or a Roddy Piper, people of that ilk. This, what we have seen over the last 24 hours, is something that we have never seen before in terms of a wrestler passing away. That is what we have seen with Hulk Hogan over the last 24 hours. Because Hulk Hogan passed away, as you are all well aware, at this point, at the age of 71 yesterday. There has been a lot of talk now for many weeks about the state of his health. I've been talking about it and giving updates, and Bubba the Love Sponge has been spouting off about it now for weeks. That something was clearly very wrong because Hogan had been MIA for 2 months. At a very critical time for him, not just because of his beer that he's been shilling and going around the country selling, but because he has this new freestyle wrestling league starting up late next month that he's the commissioner of. He's the face of that entire project. And so for them, for him to kind of vanish off social media the way that he did, it could not have happened at a worse time. But as somebody who is typically very active on social media, it was very clear, okay, something's a little off here. And so then you get the news yesterday about what happened. And, even though it was, I don't want to say that it was completely unexpected because it sounded really bad. But still, when you hear something like that, it's still shocking. If you've been a wrestling fan for any length of time, if you've been a wrestling fan going back to the 80s, 90s, you are well aware of who Hulk Hogan is. And there's probably a very good chance that you became a wrestling fan on the back of that Hulkamania boom. Maybe you became a fan off the Monday Night War period in the NWO invading WCW, and Hogan is a heel and not as a babyface, right? Everyone is different. But to say that his passing would be the biggest, certainly of our generation, or that I can remember, would be an understatement. And in terms of his importance to this company, you saw that on display tonight, because not everybody gets the 10-bell salute treatment. And that's how they opened the show tonight, with the entire SmackDown roster on stage, Triple H out there paying tribute, the 10-bell salute, the video package. And when you see it, when you watch it all back, it just drives home, like, the longevity that this man had in his career and the impact that he had on the wrestling industry is immeasurable. So to say that this is one of the biggest stories of the entire year is putting it mildly. But Hulk Hogan has in fact passed away, and I am going to save a lot of what I would like to say for Sunday. So I've been mulling over my thoughts. I've got 1,000,001 things running through my head and memories, you know, and things of that nature that I'll be able to share. And I'm going to save most of that and go in depth on that on the podcast on Sunday. As I have had to do many times before, unfortunately, for many wrestlers, many of whom are from Hogan's generation, that are no longer with us. For everybody who goes back and watches an old WrestleMania or an old SummerSlam, it's morbid and it's sad, but you do the same thing, I'm sure, where you start counting the number of people, not who are dead, but who are still alive. And it's depressing, you know, to go back and see that. But Hogan, I mean, again, his career has spanned so many different eras and so many different milestones. It's hard to even list them all. You know, on TV tonight, they were listing out some of his accomplishments in terms of championships and two-time Hall of Famer, and he's headlined, you know, 8 WrestleManias and all of these, you know, very important statistics. And I will say this, you know, to me, in terms of his career, the most impressive accomplishment, other than his longevity, is the fact that he was the face of 2 different business booms in wrestling, in 2 different companies, 10 years apart, one as a babyface and one as a heel. There is nobody else, nowhere, who can say that. And it's almost unbelievable. But truly, he was the face of both of those boom periods and ushered in a period of prosperity for each one of those companies in a way that nobody else ever has. And to me, when you just consider his wrestling accomplishments, to me, that is the most impressive. Obviously, Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea, as an individual, there's a lot more to it than just his wrestling accomplishments. And for all the good, and for all the positive, and for all the money he made, and as big of a draw as he was, there was also a negative side to it. One that cannot be ignored. And believe me, I won't when I get into it. But people say, well, you know, it's been a complicated 24 hours. You know, he's a complicated person. Well, I mean, that's certainly one word you could use to describe it. And people are going to have different feelings and different emotions about this whole thing. One thing that I think has been really sad to see, and it's sort of the story of social media, is the celebratory mood among certain people. Yeah, I even said this when the reports were going around about Hogan's health. And same with Ric Flair, who just the other day mentioned that he was cancer-free because he had been diagnosed with skin cancer. 2 men that honestly, you know, should be revered in their old age, right? Like, in a perfect world, these guys, as big as they were in the wrestling business and as successful as they were and trailblazers in their own way, like in a perfect world scenario, they would have retired, rode off into the sunset. They would have been great ambassadors to the wrestling industry. You know, their legacy is still intact and they would be revered by everybody. And that's not how real life works, as we can see. But I said, with all the reports going around about their health, one thing that I will not tolerate are people celebrating the fact that someone is sick, or celebrating the fact that someone is on their deathbed, or that someone, you know, just died. I don't understand it. I think it's sick, and I don't tolerate that. And I've seen a lot of that on social media. So, when you ask, well, how come you've been quiet, on social media over the last day? Because I posted when Hogan passed away yesterday and didn't really say anything else. It's because social media is a cesspool. It really is. And it's hard not to be dragged down.
Gear up for back to school with A-plus deals for the whole family at your Going Gone by Dick's Sporting Goods.
Domino's has the best deal ever. From now until August 3rd, any pizza with any topping for $9.99. I got a secret menu item. It's New York style pizza with garlic.
Who passed away yesterday in his home at the age of 71 due to cardiac arrest. Smackdown was in Cleveland tonight, and they started the show off with a 10-bell salute. With all of the Smackdown roster out there on stage, honoring Hulk Hogan. I want to thank everybody for all the support and all the great words. I had people reach out to me. I had people that I haven't spoken to in years. I haven't spoken to them in years. These are people that we went to concerts with, roamed the Bronx with, played music with, hung out, got drunk. They reached out to me, seeing what I do now, with unbelievable words of encouragement and praise for yesterday's video. And it really meant a lot to me because I genuinely don't even know what to do or what to say in situations like that, because it's just uncomfortable for me to talk about someone's passing and talk about someone in that context. So what you guys did to me and for me and what you guys said about me in the video yesterday, I just want to thank everybody for their love and support, because it was very uncomfortable to make. And as soon as the news broke, I went and did some research on what really made Hulk the pop culture icon that he was. I haven't gone down the rabbit hole of Hulk Hogan matches yet, which I do believe I will do that at some point. A lot of it is just still kind of overwhelming. And like I said, it doesn't even feel real. I hope yesterday's message really resonated with some of you. I'm not perfect by any means. I've done things and said things that, just like everybody else, you wish you could take back or go back in time and kind of have a redo. Nobody's perfect, man. There are people watching me that will cry to the heavens about how someone is such a terrible person and such an evil person. They don't know the other individual behind the camera. They don't know the person that they're watching on TV. They automatically deem them as an evil human being without actually knowing the person. A lot of today's wrestling fan actually makes me sick. A lot of today's wrestling fan think who they are, and they're high and mighty, and they're all virtuous, and they're all social justice, and that they do no wrong. And I hope yesterday's message, the message I really wanted to get across was, and unfortunately I blocked a lot of people in the last 48 hours because people are just they operate with one brain cell. I hope yesterday's message really resonated, that we all need to separate Terry Bollea from Hulk Hogan. I don't know why that is so difficult for people to understand. I really don't understand it. How that is so hard for people to do. This is not about Terry Bollea. It's not. A lot of people are crying racism, and a lot of people are crying all the bad things that he did because they don't really, they don't understand the gravity of what he was to the business that we all love and want to be a part of. Everybody that watches the show, everybody that is in this business, everybody that does what I do, they want a small piece, they want a small crumb of the pro wrestling industry. They want to be involved, they want to be mingling, they want to rub elbows, they want to be in. At the first drop of anything, man, anything bad, man, they jump on you like a pack of hyenas. And Terry Bollea had to live with the fact that he got caught on a secret recording 10 years ago. 10 plus years ago. And people never let him rest. They will never let him rest, even now that he's in the fucking ground. They nailed him to the cross for over 10 years for something that he said in private that was never supposed to be leaked. Do I condone what he said? No. I don't. Do I act that way? No, I don't. For all the people that want to cry that I'm racist. You got me. I called Yoshi by the color of his skin on Mario Kart 13 years ago, man. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness, man. I'm such an evil person. All of the people that are claiming, this is what bothers me, all the people that are claiming Hulk Hogan is evil, they have said much worse to everybody else defending Hulk Hogan within the last 48 hours on social media, and they don't even realize it. They don't even realize it. All of those people who nailed Terry Bollea to the cross for what he said, he said it on multiple occasions. They've all said and done the same exact thing in their lifetime. But it's always magnified because he's a public figure, he's an American icon, he's the greatest of all time. He's supposed to be different. He's supposed to uphold the values and teach all the young kids that admire him what to do, what's right and wrong. I've seen a lot of comparisons on social media today. People defending Chris Benoit over Hulk Hogan, defending O.J. Simpson over Hulk Hogan. The nastiest of things. People wishing death on Hulk Hogan because he supported Donald Trump winning the presidency of the United States. These people aren't mentally well, bro. They aren't mentally well. These people don't have anything else to live for. I find that to be very fucking weird, man. I do. You hate somebody so vehemently because of their political affiliation. Doesn't that sound weird to you? Oh, he supported Trump over Kamala Harris. Oh, he supported Trump over Joe Biden. Oh, he supports Trump over Barack Obama. He's a Republican and not a Democrat, man. He's Satan incarnate. Doesn't that sound weird to you? Sounds weird to me. I would never lose a friendship, kick someone out of my life, stop listening to a musician, stop supporting a pro wrestler, all because of their political affiliation. I'm not going to disregard 35 years of legacy because he said one word. Do I condone it? No. I don't think anybody should be speaking that way. at all. But this is why I stressed so much yesterday. Please differentiate Terry Bollea from Hulk Hogan. His choice of words on a secret videotape have nothing to do with the legacy and the influence of Hulk Hogan and where we sit today in the realm of pro wrestling. I'm not saying what he did was right, but one doesn't have to do with the other. I've seen some of the most nastiest, some of the most vile, disgusting behavior on social media to a point where I genuinely don't even want to be on it anymore. I've had to block several people for disrespecting a man who is now gone and no longer with us. That's not the type of person I want to see anywhere in my vicinity. I don't want that energy. I don't want those people in my space. That is disgusting. But this is the community that we have all accepted to be a part of. The community is not real. It's made up of a bunch of people who live in a woke Gen Z fucking environment where every little thing that you do, it is going to be fucking crucified until they drive you away and you cease to exist. I find it funny how people are willing to just erase this man's legacy for something that he said 13 years ago. Have you not done anything wrong in your lifetime? You know, I seen a clip. They actually played it in the tribute tonight. I seen the whole clip on social media yesterday. It made me fucking tear up big time. Little kid walking into Hogan's beat shop. Let me tell you something, brother. And Hogan cuts him off and then gives the stage to the little kid. The kid rips his shirt off. The kid is reenacting Hogan's mannerisms and all that stuff. Why wasn't that clip celebrated? Why wasn't that clip shown around? Why wasn't that clip shown around and spread from everybody? I seen it through a couple of accounts combating all the negativity. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Why didn't I see that clip shared? Why did I have to go seek that clip? This is also a man who became reborn with Christ. This is a man who got baptized in his late 60s to once again walk with God. That seemingly doesn't get talked about either. Why wasn't that pushed? Why wasn't that narrative pushed? Oh, but Hogan's a racist. Hogan's a piece of shit. Hogan's an evil man. It's funny how all these things just get accelerated now that the man is gone. None of that good stuff was spread. A lot of us made fun of Hogan. Me included. How could you not? He was a habitual liar. Nothing he said made sense. These are the things that added up, that tarnished what should have been a perfect legacy. These are things that accumulated and built up that tarnished a legacy. And I seen this comparison get thrown around on social media today. He should have been the Michael Jordan of professional wrestling. He was. He was. He is. But those things drop him a step below Michael Jordan. You don't see that type of stuff coming from MJ. Hogan did things that actively tarnished his legacy. But all the things that happened in this sport that we love called professional wrestling. I don't give a fuck what the man did. I don't give a shit what the man said. It has nothing to do with his legacy and how we should view it. Terry Bollea, the man, is not Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan is the one who was on my TV screen. The real American Hulk Hogan was on my TV screen. That's what I remember. That's what I want to remember. That's what I became a fan of. That's what I got lost in. That's what I watched, sitting on my basement floor at my mom's house, dreaming of once holding or touching that beautiful WWF Winged Eagle Championship, glistening in the fucking arena spotlight. That's what we all wanted to be a part of. Memories and moments like that. Knowing where I was, growing up. A lot of people discount that. A lot of people just toss that to the side. Now, I didn't have a great childhood. I had a fucked up childhood. Both of my parents are alcoholics. Absolutely no support from anybody in my family because my parents alienated us from everybody. All I had was my brothers. My brother Mike and my brother Frank. That's it. We learned music, we played music, we started a band together, we loved pro wrestling. We went to concerts. We tried to be the best boys that we could, away from two parents who didn't really want anything to do with us. So when you sit there and you blast and you crucify and you shit all over a man's fucking legacy that probably did for me just like he did fucking countless millions and millions of fucking people, of course, people are going to look at it in a completely different way, but he's a racist. Fuck Hulk Hogan, he's a racist. Do you know how fucking ridiculous that sounds? Again, so people don't take me out of context. I don't want you to take me out of context. I don't condone anything he said because I find it to be fucking deplorable. But I think a lot of what Hulk Hogan is getting lost on a lot of people because they don't realize and they don't understand how important Hulk Hogan was to a lot of fucking people and important to a lot of fucking people, not only like me, growing up, who had a fucking rough upbringing, but a lot of people who are in this business today. There is no WWF without Hulk Hogan. There is no Vince McMahon without Hulk Hogan. That works both ways. They needed each other. There is no celebrity appearances without Hulk Hogan. There is no WrestleMania the way we see it today without Hulk Hogan. There is no Monday Night Raw without Hulk Hogan. There's no Friday Night Smackdown without Hulk Hogan. There's no AEW without Hulk Hogan. Pro wrestling would have survived without Hulk Hogan. Pro wrestling existed before Terry Bollea was introduced as Hulk Hogan. Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Bruno Sammartino, the Von Erichs, Harley Race. All these guys existed before Hulk Hogan. The art of pro wrestling would have continued on in a mainstream spotlight without Hulk Hogan. But pro wrestling would have never transcended the mainstream into Hollywood, into movies, into the multi-billion dollar business that it is today without Hulk Hogan. WrestleMania isn't WrestleMania without Hulk Hogan. Can you imagine if Hulk Hogan isn't in WWF what WrestleMania looks like, WrestleMania 1 through 9? Do you even want to imagine what WrestleMania looks like without Hulk Hogan? I know I can't. I don't know how else I could sum it up for you guys. There is no... Well, I don't know. I mean, listen. My love for pro wrestling stems from the era of Hulk Hogan, so there very well might not be a JD from New York, because I could be on here not talking about pro wrestling. I could be on here talking about fucking espresso. I could be on here talking about coffee. I could be on here talking about fucking music. I could have a music podcast. I could have a cooking podcast. I could have an action figure I mean, whatever. The reason a lot of us are here and love pro wrestling is because we were introduced to Hulk Hogan, and everything else after that followed. This man, for 30 plus years, I said it yesterday, yes. I mean, the guy is a part of some of the greatest moments of all time. Some of the biggest moments that will ever exist, that will never be duplicated. WrestleMania 1 and the importance of that show. If WrestleMania failed, there would not be WrestleMania. Hogan made sure that WrestleMania continued. It was all on his back. WrestleMania 3, slamming Andre the Giant. It's the most iconic moment in the history of our sport. It's not mine, but I recognize it as how important it was. WrestleMania 5 with Savage. Again, I said yesterday, I'm more of a Warrior guy. I was more zoned in on Warrior and Rude for the IC title that night than I was Savage and Hogan. But I recognize how important that storyline was. That may be the greatest storyline that WWF ever wrote. WrestleMania 6 with the Ultimate Warrior. You mean to tell me that that moment as a child doesn't fucking resonate with you? Because I know my escape at that age, while my upbringing wasn't the fucking best, I found escape through pro wrestling. I found peace in pro wrestling. I found calm in pro wrestling. That's one of the major reasons why. I didn't mention this yesterday. One of my favorite Hulk Hogan matches, just because of the moment, was the 91 Survivor Series with Hogan and The Undertaker, the Gravest Challenge. One of my favorite moments in WWF history. That match solidified me as a fan of The Undertaker. Because I said up and down yesterday's video, I'm not the biggest Hulk Hogan guy. I was more of a villain than a hero guy. Again, moments you can never duplicate. When Hogan was tombstoned on a fucking steel chair and the gong rang and The Undertaker was announced as the new WWF champion by Howard Finkel, and he dragged the title out of the fucking arena like it was a dead carcass. Shit like that resonates with me, man, and that never, ever in this lifetime will leave me. And obviously Tuesday in Texas. The Royal Rumble in '92. Psycho Sid and Hulk Hogan. WrestleMania 8. WrestleMania 9. Him and Yokozuna. He walks out with the WWF title. Him and Yoko at the King of the Ring. He eventually leaves. Wins the WCW World Championship. His character starts to become a little dated. It's a little old. That 80s Hulkster isn't really resonating in the 90s. We need to switch it up. How does he switch it up? He goes and starts the greatest faction in the history of professional wrestling and becomes the leader of the NWO, solidifying the greatest moment in the history of professional wrestling. This man slammed Andre the Giant in the most iconic moment in wrestling history to then turn around and then become heel in the greatest moment in all of professional wrestling that will never be duplicated. So not only did he transcend the business one time, he did it again and almost killed the fucking company that gave him a start. He almost killed the company that made him into the global sensation that he was. Do you know how fucking ridiculous that sounds? That was the greatest heel turn in the history of our business, and there will never be another heel turn like that ever again. That's why John Cena's heel turn is now number 2. It didn't even stand a fucking chance. "83 weeks, he gave Vince McMahon the finger. And in that time, he always had respect for Vince McMahon because he bailed Vince McMahon out at the steroid trials. Because he did admit to taking steroids, but he also admitted that Vince McMahon never forced him to take steroids. It was always him and him only. Vince was acquitted. Hulk went on to WCW. Vince lived on to see another day. His match with Sting at Starrcade, the most iconic WCW match of all time. His match with Goldberg, again, not a big Goldberg guy, but the moment was fucking one of the greatest moments in the history of professional wrestling. Every single Tuesday morning, I went to Mount St. Michael High School, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Every single Tuesday morning. Did you see what happened on Nitro? Did you see what happened on Nitro? No, I wasn't watching WCW Nitro, bro. I was watching Monday Night Raw. I was very much a Connecticut boy. I wasn't allowed to watch WCW. Like I said yesterday in my video, I was only given a short window to watch very little pro wrestling at that late hour at a young age. My mom didn't let me do it. Again, I had a very shitty upbringing. I was not afforded the leisures that some other parents were giving their children. I had a strict bedtime. I had a no TV fucking rule in the bedroom past a certain hour. And the only reason why I got to watch some of Monday Night Raw in its early day at the Manhattan Center was because my dad said, let the boys stay up. Because he didn't want to hear my mom banshee about they're staying up too late. I only got a small window. And I didn't even get to watch the whole fucking show. I got a very small piece, a half an hour, and then up to bed. And then my dad would VHS the rest of it, and I watched it the next day. But I went back as a older adult male to go see everything that I did miss. And the Hulk Hogan I did not appreciate, and the Hulk Hogan that I didn't really have this affection towards as a youngster, I did as a older teen. Going into my early 20s, and my late 20s, my early 30s, I realized how important of a figure Hulk Hogan was to professional wrestling, and everything that happened with him was probably never going to be duplicated ever again. See, me and everybody in my age bracket, man, we lived through the golden age of professional wrestling. What you see now is not professional wrestling. What you see now is entertainment. What you see now caters to some of the old school, some of the new school, and a lot of these new age fans and new age promoters and new age this and new age that, new direction of pro wrestling has to cater to these fucking woke ideologists and woke audiences who, if you do or say anything wrong, forget about it, man. It's all over. Look at what happened to Chelsea Green today. The woman put out a beautiful statement. Very honest, very fair, very upfront about Hulk Hogan. And what did she do? She had to take it down because she was attacked by the woke mob. You don't think that turns people off? I don't expect these people to understand Hulk Hogan or the importance of Hulk Hogan or the influence of Hulk Hogan. She deleted it, and then just before I went live says she's taking a break from social media because of all the hatred and the death threats and the negativity, and this place was supposed to be fun, and it's no longer fun. No, it's not fun. No, it's not fun. It's never been fun. She deleted her tweet. People dancing around Hulk Hogan as if they don't know his impact on the fucking sport that they are involved in. Show the man some fucking respect. Show the man how important and influential his legacy is, and how it's never going to happen again. Now, everybody that followed in his footsteps can't even measure up to what he was and what he is going to forever be to pro wrestling. But I get it. You might have joined late in the game. You might have started watching pro wrestling with John Cena. You might have started watching pro wrestling with The Rock and Stone Cold, Roman Reigns. Hulk Hogan's not going to be everybody's into pro wrestling. But that doesn't mean he's not the most influential figure. You need to go and do some homework. AEW hasn't said a fucking word about Hulk Hogan. Not one single tweet from the official AEW account, not one single tweet from Tony Khan, not one mention of Hulk Hogan at all. Matt and Nick Jackson said something about Hulk Hogan. Sting said something about Hulk Hogan. Those are the only two that I've seen publicly. Where's everybody else? Where is everyone else? Have you guys figured it out yet? Have you guys figured it out yet? What have I been saying for years? Tony is basically just Vince McMahon Jr. without the sexual allegations. The man has struck so much fear in that company that they can't even respect the fucking dead. I haven't said anything on social media about it yet because I'm waiting to see what they do tomorrow. If they throw up a fucking graphic, if they do something in regards to mentioning his name tomorrow night on Collision. But the simple fact of the matter is everybody else in the fucking industry has said something about Hulk Hogan. TNA did something on Impact last night live in regards to Hulk Hogan. If you are a pro wrestler, you should have at least acknowledged the importance of what Hulk Hogan has done for this business. AEW has not said a fucking word.
She's made up her mind to live pretty smart. Learn to budget responsibly right from the start. She spends a little less.
That is, again, Tony has backed himself into a corner because he can't do the human thing and pay respects to someone who paved the way for legitimately everybody in this fucking sport. Because if he bends a knee to the fucking right thing to do, the sickos aren't gonna really be all that thrilled. He's got to cater to his fan base. He's got to cater to the woke AEW fan base. That's why that fan base is so fucking diseased. They got a couple of screws loose. Worst fan base in the history of sports as long as I've been alive is that fan base. You can't do or say anything without getting fucking canceled. There would not be an AEW without Hulk Hogan. The same guy that was on the network that they call home, who beat WWF for 83 fucking weeks. Yeah, that Hulk Hogan. There wouldn't be a Warner Sports for pro wrestling without Hulk Hogan. Show the man some fucking respect. Honor his legacy, honor his influence, and do the right fucking thing. How fucking pathetic. The network that they call home would not be in the pro wrestling business without Terry Bollea. So fucking show the man some goddamn respect. The reason why Tony Khan is a fucking fan of professional wrestling more than likely is Hulk Hogan. And if he says otherwise, he's a fucking liar. Hogan came back to WWE.
Alright, I might well end the video. I made this long enough. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. I'm glad I got my first win on Fortnite. It feels good. It took a while, but I did it. So Nick Aldis announced Epic 6-pack TLC match for SummerSlam. So we announced that match. That's 6 matches. 6 on night 1 and 6 on night 2. We got Luke to begin a challenge for the AAA World titles. Alright, well, might well just end the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. Hit that like button, leave a comment. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Until next time.